Well, hey, welcome back. We want to introduce you to the newest member of our 5 News family here. This is our new Chief Meteorologist, Skot Covert. So glad to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here, but I'll be really honest, it's early.
It is
early. Like the number one thing I did during my first day orientation, Zach showed me how to use the coffee maker. So
it's a good one.
happy to
It's a good break
report
room.
we've got a good fresh batch of coffee out there waiting for us.
Now, he's into coffee, so he's a coffee expert. He's got your back on that. We want to tell you a little bit about Skot this morning. I bet you're curious, right? Originally from Ozark.
Yeah, Ozark hillbilly.
So born and raised around here. You spent the last 4 years forecasting at THV 11 in Little Rock.
Right, that's right, our sister station in Little Rock. And of course, as you know, a lot of the weather that we get here in 5 Country eventually moves that direction. So yeah, I was gone technically, but I felt like my eye was always on the weather happening here because eventually it would be our problem down south.
Definitely so.
Scott, I have to know, being home, how does it feel to be here at 5 News? You grew up watching this station.
Super fan is a good word. I'd never missed a newscast from 5 News as a kid. It feels surreal, to be quite honest. The goal was always to get back here, and here we are, tracking storms here where I grew up, learning to fall in love with weather, and so I'm really excited.
Okay, so a few things to know about you is you are a golden retriever dad.
I am. I've got 3 Goldens right now. I've had 5 up at one point, which is a little insane, to be quite honest. 3's a lot to deal with. There they are. They are the joy of my life. They keep me busy. They keep me young. Constantly lint rolling every piece of clothes and furniture I have.
Love that.
Another fun fact, Joe Pennington, longtime morning meteorologist here at 5 News, your cousin.
That's right, yeah, he was here for about 10 years, a little bit before Zach, I think, on this show.
Yep.
Yeah, cousins, we storm chased together. Some of my best memories storm chasing with Joe. And occasionally I'd come to the Fort Smith studio and watch him and Garrett from behind the scenes and learned a lot, soaked it all up.
Awesome. And, you know, we want to talk about, I heard you were, as a young child, terrified of storms.
Yeah.
That's how you became a meteorologist.
And Zach will tell you that's not too uncommon for meteorologists. I truly was horrified of severe weather. I had to call my grandpa, who had Channel 5 tuned in on the bunny ears that probably had some tinfoil on top, right?
Those.
There in the river bottoms. He'd walk me through it, and I started watching myself. Jay Hillgartner back in the day, a name some folks will remember. I learned a lot from Jay and Garrett and Joe's coverage, and eventually I was not scared, I was intrigued. And then at some point, intrigue morphed into somewhat of a passion.
That is awesome. Well, of course, you're going to get to know a lot more about Skot here. Now, his first official show is Monday at 4 o'clock, right? However, you're going to be keeping an eye on the storms, the situation this weekend with the weather team as well, and ready to jump in as needed.
That's absolutely right.
I'm trying to get him to do it now.
I know, I heard you say, hey.
Because he brought some donuts, and I want to go try those out. I'm usually here alone. You're here.
They're probably still warm. They're probably still warm.
You got to know that about Zach. Food involved, he's in. He's down.
I just got to keep my eye on these 2 ladies because they start sneaking out of here, and then it disappears pretty quick.
Is that what happened?
It
happens.
Okay, Scott, before we go, I have to know, what would you say your one goal is as Chief Meteorologist here at 5?
I'm going to make it to every county in the viewing area probably in the next month. It's a big goal of mine to get out there and see old friends and family and introduce myself to some new folks.
Zach.